I'm Jamie.
I'm Amari.
And
we're just two trying to make it.
Hey guys, we are here and we are so excited to be talking with the famous Joy. I met her years ago, and to think of where you are now, it's like mind-blowing. I'm so excited, kind of starstruck.
Stop.
And I love you.
Yes.
So,
the artist edit, we're getting a masterclass in confidence today.
Yes.
Thank you so much for
I was nervous coming because
Why?
because I'm like, that bitch is gonna judge us on what our makeup is like.
Everyone says that. Everyone is like, they'll walk in and be like, please don't look at me. And I'm like,
I was ready. I'm like, oh, I don't want to go in there.
Stop.
That day I did that party for you. I was like,
you're like, oh no.
Why is she here? And you showed me your, and like your pajamas, you still look drop your gorgeous. I'm like,
That's what, can I be honest? Yeah. Unless something's like really bad, which I think any human can kind of register what like really bad makeup is, I don't notice it. Like I just see people for what they are, but unless it's like weird, right? Like someone's eyelash is like completely rotated or like, you know, it's smeared, like, you know, obvious things.
But I get what you're saying, because I called my girlfriend, and she's a photographer. I'm like, Hillary, I gotta go over there and I gotta interview Joy. She's like, are you so excited? And I was like, yeah, I'm nervous because like I makeup. She's like, Jamie, do you judge every food that you eat? And I was like, no,
you don't even look at it.
Think about it. I'm like, oh god, I have to make that, pile that on my plate.
Yeah, that looks good. Yeah, that tastes good. I didn't have to make it.
Exactly. You don't think about it, but it is kind of like.
Yeah.
So, can we talk about, obviously you brought us through earlier and you showed us all this amazing stuff.
Yes.
But like, what was your path? How did you get here? Where did you start?
Yes, tell us the artist edit story.
So, the artist edit was something that I wrote the business plan for when I was 18 years old. So, in beauty school, our last like trimester, we had to like, I don't even know if it's called a trimester. I've been around pregnant people a lot. The last like couple months of school, we had to write a business plan for ourselves, right? Like, what do you want to do? What do you want to be? And I'm not a simple person. I'm very like, I just make everything complicated. So I was like, I'm not writing a business plan for like what my dream would be. Yeah. And I thought of like, this sounds weird, but like the way a tanning salon is set up, like there's one front desk, but then there's different rooms, and each room was going to be like very powerful service providers that did something in beauty. So at the time it was like, I'll have a nail girl, I'll have, you know, a hair girl, I'll have, you know, a makeup girl. It kind of evolved, obviously. Now it's just makeup.
Yeah.
Because, you know, as you get older, you learn about business. But what I learned in business is stick to one thing and be really good at it.
Yeah.
Don't try to overdo it. So it evolved from this just beauty kind of like parlor, if you will, but with like privacy, to the artist edit now. So we are a makeup-based, you know, studio. We do hair too, depending on licensing, but make a long story short, each girl is their own brand. So that was really important to me too. I didn't want anyone to work here and feel like, oh, well, I just work at the artist edit. I wanted it to be, I work with the artist edit girls.
I love they don't have to shrink into what you create. They can create their own.
So I wanted it to be like basically an umbrella of like, these are our ethics and like our brand standards and how we provide service, right? So that's consistent, but I wanted each girl to be their own, I don't want to say character, but like who they are, right? So they can decorate the rooms the way they want. Their name is their signature, and instead of it being the artist edit on everything, they can pop their signature literally on everything. Because that's what it is. Each artist is their own signature. People are going to book me because they love me, or they're going to book Mary because they love Mary, right? Or, you know, so on. So creating that magic and then teaching them how to build their businesses, etc., is how it was born. But truthfully, it was born because I got tired of working in my basement, and I knew about 7 other artists that were tired of working in their basement.
How long did you work in your basement?
I worked in my basement, so I worked for MAC from the day I turned 18 is when I got my job. So, and then I worked there for about 8.5, 9 years, and then I left there after moving to Dallas and like made it to the top of the company. Kind of just felt like that's the end of my journey with them because they got rid of their training program, and that's what I was like really wanting to do, was train and develop artists. So make a long story short, I ended up going back home with no plan. Had zero clue where I was going to do, and I just said, you know, God will tell me what I'm supposed to do. So I just put my head down and didn't have a plan, and next thing you know, I have clients that were knocking on my door like, you're back, like, can I get in tomorrow? And because I had worked at MAC, I'd never been able to do makeup on the weekends because we were required to work every weekend.
Yeah.
So I didn't get to do weddings. I didn't get to do like fun stuff. If I did clients, they were like nightclub girls because they were after 9 or 10 o'clock when I got off work. So, you know, I did what I could in like my little closet room when I moved back. And then I was like, okay, I got to buy a house that like has a studio. So I essentially went looking for a house that had a door on the lower level that I could open up for my clients and then make the whole lower level a salon. Yeah. So I did that, and I did that for about 3 years. During that process, I was teaching artist lessons, and I was making friends with other artists, and they were kind of all doing the same thing. So we all were referring business to each other. Yeah. But like when you're like, you know, feeling like you're at the top of your craft and then you're in your basement, there's just something that's like not fun about that. So I kind of brought all my girls together, and I was like, you know, should we do something like this? And so we started off doing weddings, and that was really fun and cool. And we were doing like $50 hair and makeups. It was crazy. It was unbelievable.
I mean, those were the days.
That was, yeah, it was awesome.
You pay like $30 for an updo, and you're like, oh gosh, that was kind of high.
That was a lot. I didn't like it. So, but we were doing like, you know, and then all of a sudden we're like booked, like very booked. And I was like, I think we have a business. And then I was like, should we all like start a salon? And at the time it was like, okay, you're crazy. Like that's a lot of money. You know, makeup is a lower price point as far as like any service really goes. So it's like you have to work really hard to make a lot of money at it. And we all were hustling, but it was like the thought of renting something really big, building it out, like just seems scary. So I was like, yeah, we just don't have the funds for that. Like it's a dream. It's a pipe dream, but it's, you know, a dream. And then I decided to create my first brush set. Yeah. And my first brush set is what essentially gave me the funds to build this. Yeah. Because if I hadn't have built that, I wouldn't have sold as many, and then I wouldn't have had any extra money. So it all just
why
evolved.
The brush set? Were people always asking you, like, what brushes do you use?
Because I was teaching so many lessons, people were like, okay, what brushes do I go buy? So the thing about women, what I've learned about women in general, is we love to buy a trinket or a product.
Yeah,
a little, we love that. Like a lip gloss, a $38 lip gloss, I will absolutely buy that. A $70 brush, they're not buying it. They will not.
I mean, you are so true. Like,
they won't. Because why would you? You could get one at Target that to you seems the same.
Right.
Me as a makeup artist, I know how important it is. Just the same thing as videographers or
your
chefs, like your tools matter. Yes. I would say 1/3 of the equation.
Oh, yeah.
So when I was teaching women, okay, here's the products, here's how you do it, but here's the brush you need. They were doing these two things great. They were not buying the tools.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay. So I started talking to my clients, like, why are you not wanting to buy the tools, right? And they were like, Joy, the bronzer brush was $60, the foundation brush was $45, and the eyeshadow brush you wanted me to get was $38. But I bought one that looks the same, and here it is. It's plastic. It looks nothing the same. It's maybe the same shape, but it's completely different, and I know that. Yeah. So I was like, how do I want just how much do brushes cost to make? That's like what I asked myself. So I got on, you know, Google. Yeah. This is before ChatGPT.
Yeah. We had to think for ourselves.
Yeah, literally. And I just Googled like manufacturers brushes, like who manufactures Bobbi Brown's brushes, who does Max brushes, what fibers are they made of, how are they cut, like just researching myself, why do I love all these brushes that are so expensive? And I realized it was the fiber, how it's bound, the handle, the length, the size, a lot of things. So I basically took all my favorite brushes of all time, laid them out, and said, okay, I want to make these. And then I also drew a few like out of my brain of what I thought I would want. And I just started sending them to manufacturers and saying,
am I the person that didn't realize that you actually make your brushes?
Yeah.
No, I watched your drawers. I didn't realize those were. I thought you were just like picked out your favorite brushes. And
No. It's my name's on them. Like my signature's on them. I completely. Most of them came from my brain. Like I literally drew them and like sent them to something.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So, but it was a 3-year process.
Of course.
So when I came out with them, I did 2 posts just explaining like my brushes are finally here. They're $6 a pop if you break it down. You know, I wanted it to be like something that I could not sell, but just easily speak to of like, hey, this is one and done. This is all you need. It's $130.
You're using your own brushes every time you put someone's makeup on.
A major pattern with you in that, like, you just want to fully support. Which is amazing. It's like the whole theme of the artist set is like empowering women to have this confidence. Like, hi, I'm going to set you up for success. Not only like your other artists here, like, hey, I want you to do the best you can do. Your clients, like, girl, I want you to succeed at this.
Well, and that's so my whole thing with business has always been if there's no demand, don't do it. And who are demanding anything of you as a business is always going to be your client. So you have to listen to your client, you have to understand them, you have to understand who they are, what they're wanting. And I think people lose the art of like talking sometimes to their clients, just like real conversations,
Yeah.
and they feel like they just need to be a business and need to do all these things, and it's
Be
like,
Walmart,
and while that's true in some capacity, right, it's not at all. Like, we constantly are talking to our artists, we are constantly talking to our clients and saying, what can we do better? What are you guys wanting? What would you respond to? Right? And I think if you build your business around what people are demanding of you, it will win. How could it not?
Yeah.
So that's exactly how the brushes, and I bought 500 sets initially, which was the biggest investment I'd ever made in my life.
Yeah, it's scary. Like,
very scary. Because even just getting samples was like thousands of dollars, you know? And then you get the sample and you're like, this is shit. I hate it. And I just spent $190 on this sample.
So how long did it take you to get the actual set that you wanted?
The set with the packaging landed here was almost 3 years total.
Wow.
Yeah.
So with research, etc. But like from the moment of like finding the right supplier to conception was about 11 months. So that process was longer. But I also was like, they were, you know, showing me videos as they went, making sure every fiber was in the right spot. Like, you know, whatever. Even my logo, I was like having, because I wanted it my signature, but to make your signature itty bitty was like challenging.
Yeah.
There was a lot of things.
You can't read it. And
But I only did 2 posts after they launched, and I just said, you know, this is my vision, and I did this for you guys, and if you do the math, they're $6 a piece. I wasn't trying to like oversell it. I just explained of like, it's every brush I've ever loved.
It resonated with me.
We sold out in less than 12 minutes.
That's awesome. That's crazy.
All of the units gone.
Yeah.
I'd never had that much money in my bank account in my entire life.
Yeah.
And then I was like, wait, I have no excuse not to create my business.
Yes.
So my business partner, Noelle, she also launched brushes a couple months later. So then she had a lump sum of money as well.
Yeah.
We took that money, invested from this investment into this one.
Yeah.
So we didn't take out a loan to open up this business.
Wow.
Which I didn't want to. I didn't want to start a business like feeling like, oh God, I gotta pay. Because again, that reflects on your client.
Yeah.
So I wanted it to just be, okay, I'm moving from my basement to this cooler place.
Exactly.
You know, like that's it. And now it's all paid for. It was expensive, but you know, we did it.
You've encouraged me so much because Jamie can attest to too. Like there are certain areas like, I want to create a custom vase, and it's like, oh, that's
dude, you need to do
it's
it.
a whole process. But I get clients all the time that like have a subscription. They want things for their front desk, and it's like, it would be really nice if I could get just the perfect vase,
just,
you know, and like
looking for someone else's invention.
And then they can recognize too, like, okay, that was her vase.
Yes.
Well, and you can do like a monthly video where you're like, here's the vase I designed, a little like play-by-play of how you designed it, and then showing it. Like how cool people would subscribe just for that. And your creative process on that.
Your clients and people watching resonate with that because they see like, oh, like you said, it's not like, oh, I'm just selling brushes.
Well,
Like,
it's boots in the mud.
yes,
It's the
I put a
process.
lot of intention behind this, and it's because I want you to succeed.
100%. Well, and truthfully, we've had 0 returns on literally almost all of our products. Like less than 8% is even like exchanged. So like, I've been very fortunate. Everyone in my life's like, why don't you put it on Amazon and do this and this? And I'm like, listen, I love our little little nest egg here.
And
that
usually
like
once you
go too big, that's when people they don't understand.
Don't you feel like there's a certain point, like I feel like with my business, I started bringing people along to like do the whole setups and stuff. Because people like would call me and be like, hey, my dozen cake pops, how come it wasn't this chocolate? Or how I sent you and you haven't responded to my email. I'm like, oh, well, I'm setting up a 400-person wedding right now. So I'm like, people need to understand how my day actually is.
Functions.
Like, yes, on camera it looks like I have like this great life where you see these pictures, but like I actually am in there doing it. It's like you're
actually just in the mud.
And like you have to do all of these things. So like I love that people get to like see it and relate, but at a certain point I don't want to get so big that I'm not in boots in the mud every day. To where I'm part of the actual what makes us what we are.
I think that's the fun part.
And I honestly like I don't want to get so big that like you can go online and cancel me either. Like you know like oh you know I had this you know I don't know.
Yeah, you don't want to be
you try like that happy medium.
Well, I think so. Like for example, the man in my life, he's an entrepreneur and he's trying to build a franchisable business, right? So rinse and repeat, which is genius.
Yeah.
That's more like him and I argue often, not a lot, but we go and, you know, he's like, you could be so big, you could have franchises everywhere, this and that is all so true.
Yeah.
But I talk to a lot of entrepreneurs that are like, yes, while that's true, like the boots in the mud is why I have passion for it.
Yeah.
And if that part got
it's
removed.
also what makes me want to invest in you. Like I want to buy your brushes. Like I wouldn't buy them earlier, but I'm like, oh my gosh.
Because there's a human attached to the business. Which, to be fair, you can still grow and scale. It's just how do you do it?
How do you do it?
And how do you still stay relevant in your business, right?
Exactly.
So for me, my goal now is to franchise this model eventually and put them in different cities. I don't want them multiple places in Missouri. I want one in Chicago, one in Dallas, one in, that's kind of like our long-term goal. But my goal with that is I would still work at this one. I would still see my clients. I would still do what I want to do, but I would also fly to those areas, train their artists. So I'm expanding what I love to do while not losing what I love to do.
And keeping your face with it, because that was my whole thing where I kind of got lost is the ladies that worked up front at my bakery, they would think they were the owners, and I let them think that for years.
It's fine.
I never put my face with it. And the thing is,
people want to see.
People did not like that. They did not want to see. They want to see the girl that they actually were giving the money for the cupcake or whatever, or the catering. It's like they wouldn't see me until I was doing the weddings. They'd be like, "Wait, that girl behind there bringing the pork loin in is who's actually."
Yeah, of course.
It's true.
But like, they need someone to relate to.
People love people, right? So like when we were young, people read magazines, and it was like, "Oh, I love this person," right? Like when you attach a human to a business, it's going to succeed, or if you vastly fail, depending on what's happening. But because, and then that they attribute like the things of the business to that person and what they're doing and their growth. And I just think it's so cool now with social media. You have the opportunity to like
it's incredible.
show people who you actually are, and like they can pick like, do I want to support this person? Do I want to buy from this person based on what they're seeing? Not just like what they've heard, or I don't know. I think it's a magical thing, social media, that's changed my business completely.
I agree. It's been a learning curve for me, because I feel like I never took advantage of it, and now it's like I love it, and I just want to keep educating myself.
It's addicting.
I'm like, Jamie, just make a video, just get on there.
Yeah, when we started this, I'd never done a story, a Facebook story.
You're like on it.
So like in 1 year,
You've done like a 180.
But it was big. I would be like, I'm not doing that. Yeah. And I would watch it 100
times. But now doesn't it feel like second nature?
Yeah, I don't watch them. People are always like, how do you do? I'm like, post
I do.
it.
I'm my biggest fan.
Nope, not me, man.
I'll be like this. What? Oh yeah. That's stupid, but it's true.
So going back to, I love makeup. Don't think I'm very good at it. You said that we can come and you will show us how to do it.
Yeah. So one of the main.
How does that work?
So we offer two different, well, we offer a lot of education here, but the two lessons that we offer to the public are Learn Your Face, which is essentially you come in, you sit down, you're with an artist, they talk. At first I wanted it to be like this super tailored experience, but then I realized humans are all very different skill level, very different wishes and needs, different ages, different time frames they want to work with. So basically we sit down with a sheet of paper and we talk, and we're like, okay, how much time do you typically spend? How much time are you willing to spend? How much money do you want to spend on this? What's your dream goals? Who do you love their makeup? Who do you want to avoid looking like, right? Like any allergies? We go through like kind of a list of questions, and then in order for me to break your habits, I need to know what they are. So I make you essentially tell me exactly how you do your makeup now. So people are like, oh no, and they'll be like, I rub it on with my fingers. I know that's not right.
Girls, my 10 and 11 year olds are the ones that got me on that, like, hey, you're supposed to use this. Isn't that terrible? And that was like 3 years ago, because they watch TikTok more than I do.
Well, and that's like the new thing.
I was my kid watch TikTok. Go ahead, I know.
TikTok.
But the thing is there is no really right way or wrong way. But if you tell me what you want it to look like, I can give you suggestions on. Well, rubbing that on with your fingers is going to give you this, when you could change it to this and it would look like that. So it's not really about like a lot of people think it's like. And I know you're all about cleaning your brushes. I see that on your stuff. And just one of my 19-year-old college girls worked for me. She goes, your brushes are disgusting. I was like, I know, I'm going to go see Joy. I'm going to buy some new brushes. I'm over there. And she's like, those are gross. You need to wash them. Like, I know, I hear that on her Instagram. Once, at minimum, you guys once a month. Okay, just a little Dawn soap. When they're your personal brushes, I wash mine every client, because we have to sanitarily. But as far as like my personal ones at home, I would say probably every 3 weeks to a month.
And how do you wash them?
A little Dawn soap.
A
little Dawn soap. The ferrule is the middle part. Okay. If water gets into that ferrule through the hairs will fall out. Okay. So you want to hold it, if this is your water, you want to hold your brush this way under the water, so the water runs through, and then when you let them dry, you lay them flat. Don't put them in a cup. Don't do any of that. And then if my rule of thumb is, if your brush isn't behaving the way it did when it was new, it needs to be washed.
Gotcha.
So like my contour brush, by a month, it's like, it's like leaning to the side, but one wash and you're good. Now sometimes they're too far gone that they can't even be clean.
And how long are your brushes good for? Like, I buy them today, I wash them once a month. Like, how long am I going to rock these brushes?
I have clients that still have my first set that bring them in. I mean, I still have my first set and bring them in. That was 3-4 years ago. So when they're quality, right? Like, that's the other thing. So if it's a plastic fiber and it's a glued brush, onto a wooden handle. Plastic and glue, over time they break down. Natural fibers though, so for example, if someone's using a sable hair, which, you know, ethically sourced, but if it's a sable hair brush, just like real hair, it has a natural oil, those tend to kind of fall out. So your more expensive brushes, you'll see that like hairs will kind of pop, right? And then super cheapy, like super waxy, plasticky ones, those almost just like never dilapidate because they're basically melted inside. So like it's a lot of factors.
Very cool.
And it also matters how you use your brush. You know, if you're just one of these, like, I can't really guarantee that. But if I teach you a long time.
I'm going to do this.
You should.
That sounds
People love them. It's our #1 booked service here.
I love it. I think that'd be so fun.
And they're extensive. They're 3 hours. So I do one half and I show you how to do it in the mirror for visual people, and then you do the other half, and you're allowed to record it. So you can leave. Awesome. So your recording is your instructions, and then we send you a PDF. That's all the products, where you get them, the names, the colors, because people get distracted and they're like, well, what's the name and color of that? Don't worry about it. We'll send you the list.
We got it. Well, and I saw like where you talk about like your everyday makeup to where you're going out makeup. And so like today, I'm assuming that's like your everyday face. Like, or did you like do a little extra?
I do a little extra because we're on camera. So another thing I created here for the edit was trying to bridge the disconnect between the way clients understand makeup and the way artists understand makeup.
True. Okay.
There's a very huge disconnect there. Okay, so like when you are trying to explain something, you just said every day, a little more. What would be a word you would use to describe makeup? Bold, soft, glowy. Right? What do those words mean?
Who knows?
Literally nothing.
That's like, I
mean nothing.
I'm always creeping. Like, what does she think every day? Like, how much is too much for every day?
Right. So no, but think about it. It's really that confusing.
Yes, it is.
With what you do, it's I need chocolate, I need this, I need that. It's very like mathematical, right? You can follow the instructions. With makeup, it truly is an art. And so how do you explain art to people that aren't artistic per se? That all are made to be told that they should wear this.
Everybody knows what they like.
And they definitely know what they don't like. Okay.
I know. I'm like a blush whore. Like I'm always like, put more blush on. More blush on. More blush on.
Right now, that's the trend though. So you're fitting right in.
But my whole since I was 18, I always like lots of blush.
I have to get better about it because I feel like I have a hard time. I'm like, I wish I'd want a good blush. That really like shows.
I'll send you a few reps.
Okay.
Like it is like they're. I don't know.
Well, that's the confusing part, right? So imagine me as the makeup artist trying to understand what you want, but you don't know how to verbalize what you want because all you're saying is things like glowy, soft, natural. So then my job is to figure out what you mean by that. And then yes, pictures are a good reference, but what does those even mean? Because sometimes people just show you a picture and they don't see what I see, how I would construct that. They just see like the eyelash.
Do you know, it's so funny that you just said that because you're explaining it, and when I look at a flower arrangement, I'm like, oh yeah,
and the customer doesn't see it at all. And you're like, so you really want this cascading? And you like, and they're like, I just like the colors.
Blue and white.
I like blue and white, and I don't really care about the rest.
And you know what my big struggle is? So I have a lot of college girls that work for me, and they wear no makeup. That generation wears nothing.
So that's the new trend.
And then whenever, like, let's say I'm taking them to a nice dinner or whatever, they're like, oh yeah, I got done up, and I'm like, you put mascara on.
They put mascara.
Like, I put a full face on every day for work. And they are beautiful girls, and I think they look. And I don't think about it because as long as they work for me, they've always looked that beautiful. It's natural.
But it's generation.
It's generation.
So like,
am I becoming out of date? Is what I want to know because I'm never not going to have a full face of makeup on.
No, but what you could do is change tones, colors, placements, products, right? It's when you've done the same thing. Like for example, if I was wearing the same makeup I was wearing at 21 today, it would look bad. But based on that's my makeup habit. So like, for example, and not to call my moms out there, but like. Our moms, right? The moms that are 70, 80 years old. You know the Nana or the mom that's wearing the same lipstick she's worn for 50 years. You know what I mean? And
I like the one that still draws the brows.
there's nothing wrong with that, but how much more updated would she be if we just changed the tone? She can wear her lipstick every day, but maybe we just change it, right? Or just evolve it a bit. So what I was saying about the words is I essentially created what's called a level system, and it's how I teach makeup, and it's also how I explain different makeup, and it's how I talk about opacity and coverages and colors and all those things that might not make sense. But basically, here we learn that there's level 1, 2, or 3, right? When you're a 1, it takes a certain amount of time. This is your wish for results. This is how many layers you do. When you're a 2, etc. Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So we teach this to our clients, but we also teach this to artists, and then we teach you that during the lesson. So we explain to you, like, we diagnose you, like, maybe you're a level 2 right now, but you're wanting to be a 3. Here's how we get there.
That's awesome.
And we explain to you, well, and so it also, what makes it really cool is certain products are certain levels. Like a tint of moisturizer is a level 1, a super full coverage foundation is a level 3. You might live right in the middle. Right? Does that make sense? So, but like what I do is I try to figure out, like, okay, you're here every day, but you're asking to be all the way over here. So how do we get there?
And probably make you comfortable too. And are you going to spend that much time to get to that level 3?
And explaining to them, this is going to take 45 minutes. This is how many products you need. This is how many layers you need. Right. And versus just saying, like, it's a matter of opinion. It's not a matter of opinion. It's a matter of how it's built. So like all of a sudden it's so cute. We'll go to weddings and the girls will be like, I'm a 2. And they're like, oh, are you? And they're like, I'm totally a 2. And that's, I want a 2. And we're like, okay, perfect. Versus saying, I want to be natural, soft, glowy, bronzy, whatever. It doesn't make any sense.
Nice.
I love it.
It was really cool. So that's something I'm in the process of trademarking right now.
Do you enjoy, because like seeing that moment where it clicks for people?
Oh, it's the best.
There's a level of confidence here, but like that they're succeeding and
when I'm in the middle of a lesson and all of a sudden, because at first people come in and they're like, oh God, you know, and then halfway through they're like, wait, this is looking the way I want it to look, and like I'm doing it. And then when they leave and they're just like lit up and they're like, this is exactly what I wanted, and they're looking at themselves a little different in the mirror, like,
so they shouldn't be discouraged. They shouldn't feel like they're going to come in and like,
oh no, I start every single lesson off with the same exact thing, which is, I know you're probably nervous, but I'm here to be your makeup best friend. There's no there's no rhyme or reason to any of this. I'm here to help you answer your questions. We could spend the entire 3 hours on eyebrows if you want, or I can teach you everything you've ever wanted to know. Right. So like, it's custom to them.
Got you.
Yeah.
That's so fun.
Do you have any makeup faves right now?
Faves. Yeah. I mean, I have a ton.
I saw your luminous silk in there. I'm like, I'm a new Giorgio Armani.
So they just they reformulated.
How is it going? Because I panic stocked up.
You should have. Good. Estee Lauder Delaware is also reformulating. And I'm like, I've worn that foundation for 20 years. What are you doing?
So I guess my biggest thing is, because, so everybody, like even when we interviewed Elizabeth Wolf, she's like, oh yeah, Joy Loveless, like, everybody thinks you're so cool. What would you tell somebody that is trying to find their way in the makeup world, or like as an artist, or like you talked about high school and
so I mean, I was a high school dropout.
Did you know when you dropped out of high school, screw this, I'm gonna go do hair?
I told my mom, I said, listen, I already know I'm going to beauty school, like, why am I here? Why am I here? Oh, she was not happy because I did it.
And so how did mom take it?
You have to be 17 and drop out legally on your own.
I'm a mom of a freshman, I would die, just so you know.
100%.
Yeah.
Which, no offense, you probably should, right?
Yeah.
I am the 1% that like dropped out, did something with my life. I had my fun. I was a bad kid. I, did what I needed to do, and then I was like, I want to work. And I know I'm good at this, and that's what I wasn't good at it, but I was good enough. And I went to school, barely made it out of school, got my job with Mac by the grace of God. That interview I absolutely bombed and probably shouldn't have gotten the job, but I did. Like, I swear, like, there was a little angel up there being like,
and back then we didn't need employees like we need employees now, so
100%. No, it was like hard to get a job with them. And I truthfully, I mean, that's a whole nother story. We'll be here for another 30 minutes if I told that one, but that interview process was scary, but I just did it anyway. So my advice would be just do it anyways. Like, do the free work, fail and get back up. Like, you don't stop. The truth is, if I had to give like a serious list of advice, it would be find a mentor that is willing to not gatekeep and is going to help you not make mistakes.
Be there for you.
Yeah, that's huge.
Because I made a lot of mistakes in my career because I didn't have anyone to really talk to.
Right.
And so luckily for me, Mac was kind of like my mother, right? And all my mentors there, but they were working for a corporate company. It's vastly different than working for yourself, which most people now in makeup artistry want to work for themselves.
Right.
So talk to somebody. Because people take your money and it's already a low price point. So the truth is if makeup costs $150, which in this region is pretty high.
Yeah.
If a company's taking 60%, you're walking with $60. That's still $60 an hour.
Yeah.
But then by the time you buy your products, travel, do all these things, it feels like not very much.
Yeah.
And then you have to have clients, right? So that's honestly why I built the Artist Edit, was because I wanted to teach artists all the things that could help them grow their career and the things that are holding them back. So having a mentor that doesn't gatekeep, asking the right questions. But I would say my biggest piece of advice, truthfully, if I've sat and thought with myself, like, what made me successful over other artists, right?
Yeah.
And it wasn't my talent. Truthfully, it wasn't. Yes, am I talented? I 100%. But I know artists that beat me as far as like looking at something and executing it like by a long shot. Okay. And I really asked myself, like, what is it? Why am I so booked? Why do people want to come and learn from me? And the answer was how I service a client and how I built a business.
Yeah.
And truthfully, your clients are what build your business. So a lot of artists, they buy master classes on how to post on social media, how to do a smoky eye, how to match skin, how to do every complexion, and all those things, while they're very important, that's only 1/3 of what makes you a good makeup artist. Your makeup skill is 1/3. The other half of that is your business and how that operates. But the third and the most important, in my opinion, would be customers.
Yeah.
Because without a customer, you're not a makeup artist, and you're definitely not owning a business.
And happy customers are telling other people.
Precisely. And so my biggest, we don't do any advertisement. I've never been on the Knot. I've never.
Me neither.
I've never done any of the like traditional ways of getting clients. It's all been word of mouth. And how do you get a client to want to tell 10 friends, provide the best service on planet Earth, right?
There's some pride that you do it, because like some venues.
Yeah, well, people get away with lack of customer
venues
service.
Are like, if you want to keep coming, Jamie, we'll make you a preferred vendor, but you have to give us a %.
Oh yeah.
No. The day that I have to pay you
Is the day
to get booked is the day that I've sold my soul. I'm not doing it.
Yeah, well, you don't have to.
I am good enough that I get booked.
Yeah. And some people aren't, and if that's the way it is, then fine,
But
right? But you're not going backwards.
No, because then I feel like my drive wouldn't be there. Like, my drive is I have to keep like getting better at my job every day.
Yeah.
Like the wedding show we just did at STL Bride at Ritz-Carlton, I was sick to my stomach because it was like really bold colors, and I thought they're either going to get it or it's going to be cheesy.
Yeah.
And it worked. Like, that's what makes, if I knew that I was just going to always be your preferred vendor and I could go half-ass, I'm like anybody else in the world, and it would just become
second. But, but then that's the difference between somebody that truly values customer service and the experience and just trying to make $1, which both are acceptable.
100%.
But how do you want to operate? And so I think a lot of makeup artists, again, they focus on the education of like actual makeup. But if you are the best makeup artist in the world, but you don't have a client in your chair that loves you, you're not building a business, you're just doing a hobby, and you're building a skill, which is still very important. So I actually built an entire masterclass. It's called Beyond the Basics. It's launching in the next it probably will be out by the time this comes out. But it's not, there is tutorials. There's only 4 though.
Yeah.
And then there's almost 18 chapters of like what made me successful. And it truly was what I call the customer experience. So I wrote chapters on, how to welcome a client, how to discover what a client's really wanting. Like, the experience of the client within your business is the missing piece.
Love this about you.
Yeah.
Again, that full circle moment of like, passing that confidence
it's reality,
on.
yes.
I love that.
Well, and I feel like then more people, like, it makes you relatable. It makes you, like, it helps them become relatable and helps them learn. And
Yeah. Well, I think that's the missing piece. Truthfully, after I finished my masterclass, I was like, that's kind of the missing piece for almost every business. So in a weird way, I don't want to advertise it to other business owners, but kind of.
Yeah.
Like, because if you essentially just take the makeup part about it, which is only 4 chapters, the rest is customer service.
Yeah.
Like, we dive into the 5 different kinds of clients you'll meet in your career, how to emotionally mirror them or understand. Like, it's a very like,
I don't want to take this.
I know, right?
It's amazing because that's what made me different. It was not the makeup.
Yeah.
I mean, that helped, but like, that was not it.
Yeah, she's incredible.
Yeah. I always go back to, I met you at I always say this.
And what was I doing? I was sitting on the floor barefoot eating chips.
You were, I like that you're being truthful.
I was
go to
so...
people like, oh, have you seen this Joy Loveless? I'm like, actually, I saw her like years ago. And I had just gotten Sprinkles van. Just got my van covered in sprinkles. That thing is like 8 years old now. It's old.
Yeah.
And I remember you're like eating off the table, and you're like, someday when I get married, I'm gonna have this.
I love it.
And then when you reached out to me a while back, I'm like, I definitely know who you are, Joy.
That's so funny.
There's very few people that resonate with me, but I remember who you are. 'Cause I thought, I thought that place was cool as hell. I thought it was so funny. You did all this great makeup and hair, and you come in like
a bat out of hell.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
That's me. It's funny at weddings. They'll be like, "Oh, where's Joy?" And I'm always in the kitchen snacking.
Heck yeah!
I'm like, "Oh, is that all? Is all that food up for grabs? I'll be over there."
Yeah.
And everyone's like, "Where's Joy?" "Oh, she's eating a snack again for the 9th time today."
no.
But like your table, I that's actually how I met Brittany, who's a very good friend of mine. She's Paris and Co events, but she was like up in the little makeup room with us, and I go, "Will you go down there and get me some more of those chips, those chocolate chips?" And she goes, "You were so fucking funny." I'm like,
Oh,
sorry.
that's over those.
They do. They were
they
good.
do.
I was like, "This is incredible."
Oh,
It was
I
so
love
fun.
that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for
Full circle moment.
Full circle moment.
Yes. Thank you so much for spending some time with us.
Thank you for having me, you guys.
Yeah, it was
Class.
awesome.
I love
I can't wait to go sign up for this makeup class.
I know. I'm gonna go get some.
You're gonna get the master class. You're coming in for a lesson.
Yes.
I'm gonna write you a list of blush.
Yes. So it's great. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Next one. Like,
Bye, guys.
subscribe, share.